really at home watching porn by yourself?
Welcome to Bo Bros. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Bo Bros. This is not an episode. This is not a podcast with any special guests. This is getting to know Brandy Bo, aka Brandon Quackenbush.
Oh, government.
Government name. We're gonna do a couple episodes where we just talk about ourselves, so you get to know the host. This is my co-host Brandon Bo. Known him for about 7 years now.
Yeah.
Always looks out for the best. Always helps me out for the best. We just want to get into a couple topics about him, so we could talk about him, so you guys can get to know one of the co-hosts, the man behind the soundboard, the sounds that you hear coming from Mr. Brandy Bo. Give him a sound, bro. What sound you want to give him?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, woo! All right, so we're gonna get to know Brandon Bo on this little 30-minute episode, 40-minute episode. Let's just dive right in. Brandon Bo, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Brandon Quackenbush. I was, damn. The vape, the mic is crazy.
Should we restart?
No, we're straight. I was born in Sacramento. Basically all my family's from the East Coast. My mom's side of the family's from like North Carolina and Iowa. My pop's side is from New York and Pennsylvania. So, you know, life growing up, it was really different. You know, my pops was in the military. So, you know, kind of starting out, he was gone. But, you know, I had my mom there. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents growing up. I got really close with my grandpa and my grandma. And, you know, he, I think 2008. So that's when he really became, you know, dad of the year type shit. But, you know, yeah, growing up, both my parents are together. So I have that blessing. You know, I can't remember a time where my parents ever, like, you know, I have good parents. I'll never dub my parents. They're good people. You know, the reason I am the person I am today is because of them. So, you know, I went to elementary school at Bancroft with a couple other guys, and we followed through all the way through high school together. Went to high school at Rio, unfortunately. And yeah, you know, I started off freshman year not knowing anybody but literally my 3 friends that I had grown up with. And then I met Kian and Rocky and Alex, and shit just kind of took off from there. You know, we all the mischief and shit we got into in high school. So your girlfriends either hated me or loved me. So that's
Whatever one I had at the time.
Yeah, right. So, you know, going back as far as I can remember, you know, traveling was a big thing for me. I loved being on the move, you know, not knowing kind of where you're going to be. It was always dope. I did a lot of traveling, never out of the country. But, you know, I discovering new places, it was dope. So I knew that that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I want to go into law enforcement. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to go, you know, city, state, or federally. Everything's different, so I hate when people be like, "Oh, law enforcement's the same all across the board." It's not. So each agency kind of has their own, you know, stuff that's for them. And for me, I just want to travel. So that's why I'm going into the Army. I should be leaving August 14th of 2023. So, you know, going to be doing that in Georgia. I graduate in February. I'll be home for basically 2 weeks. Then I go back out to Georgia to go to airborne school, learn how to jump out of airplanes. And then I'm off to my duty station. I don't know if I want to say the duty station just yet because there's still people I don't want to know where I'm at. But, you know, yeah. Big thing for me is, like, loyalty, love. That shit means everything to me. looking back at like how my parents are, I've always tried to put like every relationship I've been in, I wanted it to be like my parents. You know, my dad was gone and my mom stayed down for him. You know, they're married. There's bumps in the road. Shit happens. But, you know, rather than just breaking up or divorcing, you work through it. So I think the reason why a lot of my relationships, situationships don't last is because people are just, you know, they're okay with throwing it away. I'm not. I want to try to fight for it as much as I can. You know, that's why I stay in toxic shit because I'm like, nah, they're gonna change. They don't change. But yeah, I'm gonna do at least 4 in the military. If I can get close to my dad in rank, I'll re-enlist. But I mean, other than that, it's just trying to be a better man, be half the man my dad was or is, and then go into law enforcement, get a beautiful wife, have a big old family. Not really, but have like 2 kids and just be cool and just love life, man.
So let's talk about the first 10 years of life. We'll dive into the first 10 years of life for about 5-6 minutes. What do you remember from the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of your life? Because I know 1 to 5 is kind of blank, but 5 to 10, what do you remember from there?
It was a lot of like kind of like catching up, like family time. You know, my dad was overseas during wartime, and so it was a lot of going out as family. Now that we actually are all together, spending that time together. I was really into sports, so, doing sports. And, one of the biggest things that hit me at a young age was I had lost my grandpa. So that shit was tough. That was my guy. So losing him was definitely like a big moment, from that 1 to 10 age.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I kept in baseball was because of him. I just wanted to be like him. Everyone in my family says that I look like him, I talk like him, just the same kind of mannerisms that he has. So that's what I remember is just losing him, but then also just the family time now that we had because my pops got out of the military. Mom's quit her job like right around 10 or 11. So seeing her a lot more, being home. She was a bigwig for a banking company, and so she was always gone. So, just actually getting to be that family, that everyone wants to have.
Yeah. So first 10 years of your life is definitely what shapes you to be who you are through elementary and middle school, and bleeding into high school a little bit. But it's studied and it's shown that the first 10 years of a life is what has the biggest effect on your upbringing. So do you think your grandpa passing was definitely something that probably shaped you into who you are today?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and act like, I was fully aware of the situation that was going on, right? I was still really young.
Mm-hmm.
But, what most people either get to experience at a later part of their life,
Mm-hmm.
I was super young, and I went from seeing this person almost every day to...
Not at all.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They were gone. And so...
How did that make you view death?
I was young, I didn't know what it was,
Mm-hmm.
right? I remember, when he passed, I was in Disneyland, All right, so I'll talk about this real quick.
So you're telling me you having a time on your life on It's a Small World After All? And you got the news?
Yeah.
Definitely shapes you.
We, I feel like, and I don't know why, right? But like, I feel like I can picture the moment just perfectly. But like, we were staying at the Grand California Hotel, right, which is the most expensive hotel in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my mom gets the call, hey, this happened. And I remember we went downstairs. My mom is, you know, in complete shock. And, you know, she tells Disney what happened and, you know, hey, we gotta go. So Disney gets us a taxi to the airport, and I remember they gave me like this gift basket, right? And they were just like, hey, everything's gonna be cool. My dad was a sheriff's deputy at the time, so you know, we had gotten to the airport, and you know, they had already known what was going on. So, you know, we got there and we got on the plane, and like before we even took off, they gave me a sundae. You know, they made it comfortable for me. You know, and like we got to the airport, and there were like sheriff's deputies there, like waiting for us to get us to where we needed to go. And you know, I think I got taken home, and my mom went out to my grandparents' house. But I remember that, you know, my grandpa was a pretty big guy in the police department. So, you know, where most people, when someone passes, it's kind of like you have the funeral, and as bad as it sounds, that person kind of dies twice, right? They die, you have the funeral, and they die again because everyone stops talking about it. In my grandpa's case, I felt like there was a part where he didn't have that second death. Like they had like a full police funeral for him. Like he was retired. They didn't need to do that, but they did it. There were people standing on the streets saluting him as the car drove past. It was this huge thing. And so, you know, all growing up, there were police officers that I met that knew my grandpa. You know, everyone knew him. And so I think that's what has really stuck with me, is that I don't feel like he's ever really gone, because he's always kind of been alive. You know, everyone's talked about him, or, you know, everyone knew him. And I think that was kind of the cool part, is being able to be a part of that. And, you know, hey, oh, you're, you know, Bob's grandson. Oh my God, how's it going? You know, me and your grandpa. So I you know, that helped me a lot. And, you know, being a part of that family, you know, everyone kind of took care of each other. So
Do you think when you heard people talk about your grandpa that you may have seen once in a while, or that you've never met before, or that you've never seen before, did it make you feel any type of way when someone that you didn't even know personally was talking about the person that you loved?
I mean, yeah, I was happy, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah. A lot of people get jealous. A lot of people, not jealous, a lot of people don't like it. But you were happy.
I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
like no one ever had a bad thing to say. Everything, it was all love.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I was able to, you know, experience that, and I didn't look at it as a jealousy thing or be upset because somebody was talking about him. I you know, he wasn't alive all my life, so
Right.
I don't get to hear some of these stories.
Right.
So every person had a different story. So being able to hear that, it was like he was still here, you know, laughing about it,
Right.
talking about it. I had no, you know, nothing bad about it.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, he was a huge part of my life. And so seeing that, it sucked, but, you know, I look at it as he's the reason that I am who I am today. And the reason that I want to strive to be greater is so I can leave a legacy like that for my kids and my grandkids.
That's very powerful, and I know a lot of people want to feel that way about the ones that they loved. And him shaping that death shaping you, maybe not fully, but definitely a big part because, I mean, you were very young when it happened, but you know a lot.
Yeah.
You remember a lot. You still think about it a lot. Let's talk about something that shaped you into why you believe in happiness. Because we know you believe in death and we know you believe in sadness. Your grandpa was also a big part of his passing, was a big part of continuing of learning about death and sadness. So for a little bit, let's talk about what was something that showed you that happiness is real.
Fuck. I mean, I'm 20 years old. I'm still trying to figure,
Got a lot of
you
life to
know,
live.
that shit out. So I don't know. I can't say that I've truly, you know, yeah, there are things that make me happy. You know, hanging out with friends, my parents, maybe fuck it, even talking to a girlie,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm very much like my dad when it comes to life. I'm a realist, right? There will be good times, but there will also be bad times. And no one's guaranteed, right?
Right.
No one stays forever.
Right.
You're born with yourself and you die by yourself. So, for me, happiness is just one of those things that if I can get 5 minutes of happiness, I'm cool, right? I don't need a lot. I'm a very, you know, minimalist person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me, you know, hang out with you, right? You know, have a couple drinks, have a good time, right? I don't need to smoke weed. I don't need to get fucking blacked out drunk.
Right.
Just chilling with my boys.
So you find happiness in the simpler things.
Yeah, I don't need to blow $1,000 on, you know, someone to make me feel happy. If I'm sitting here and I enjoy your time, then yeah, I'm happy.
Right.
Just I think it's partially because of kind of all the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, really, like when I get like that ounce of happiness. We'll talk about it more in a minute, but like you've said it, you know, I'll be cool and just quiet.
Right.
And that's how quick it comes.
Right.
You know, I can be in my head and snap out of it in just a second, be happy, be laughing.
Right.
And then as soon as I'm kind of done with that, it's like back in my head.
Right.
I don't be looking for happiness, man. Happiness is a lot like love for me.
Okay.
Where if you look for it, you're never going to find it. As soon as you don't look for it,
Very powerful.
you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's times where we try to be funny to each other, right? And we're always funny, so it's like there's no trying. But,
Right.
you know, just sitting here, just, you know, talking shit.
Right.
Start laughing. We don't mean to be, but we just
Just
do it.
happens.
Yeah, think about old stories, just start laughing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that if you live your life trying to be happy and then some fuck shit happens, you're going to be more fucking hurt than anything. So that's like, I just prepare for the next day. I'm not looking to be happy. I'm not looking to be sad. Because if it does or doesn't happen, I'm going to be way more upset because it didn't happen than it just nothing happening at all.
Right.
So go to work, get shit done, go home.
So certain things that you find that happiness in simpler things. There's certain things that also make you upset. We talked about that a little bit. We talked about a little bit of happiness. What's something that keeps you going in everyday life?
My parents.
Okay.
I grew up where you don't embarrass your name or your family's name. And so I don't want to be some bum living on the side of the road.
Right.
I want to do more.
Right.
You know, there's also a little part of me that's like, I want to do it for all the bitches that try to fuck me over and shit.
Right.
I want them
The
to see.
vengeance part.
Yeah, I want to see them. Like, I want them to see me win, type shit. My ex, especially her. I'm going everything that she said she wanted, even if I don't want it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm buying it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't even care.
Yep.
It's like I want her to see me win.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, and but no, like the really real reason is my parents.
Yeah.
I do everything for my parents. If they call me right now, hey, I need you, I'm there. So my parents are the reason I'm living and breathing today.
Right.
They're the reason that I've fought so hard for what I got.
Right.
I don't want to disrespect them by giving them anything less than the best.
So, you had your parents growing up, right?
Yep.
Together.
Yeah.
Dad was gone, always in the military.
Yeah, until 2008, really.
So, Dad was always in the military fighting for the country. And law enforcement, that's also a big part of your life.
Yeah.
A lot of people will judge that. A lot of people
I've had that.
have had that already, and you haven't even joined the law enforcement. I mean, you were doing detective work for a little bit.
Yeah.
But you've had a lot of judgment off of it just by talking about it.
Yeah.
Me as your friend, I know I've done some dirt. I know I've been in some thick and thin.
Yeah.
But I've always felt okay to come to you, not because, you were in law enforcement or I thought I could get a way out, but because you were always easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And I also knew you wouldn't. I also knew you could separate law enforcement and the way your family grew up. I know you could separate that from real life.
Yeah.
Has that been a challenge for you? Just being judged by what you want to do?
Anybody that says that they don't care how people look at them is lying.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand how people looked at law enforcement till high school. I lost so many friends because I'd be like, yeah, my dad's in law enforcement.
Right.
Oh, your dad's a cop. He's a pig. Oh, fuck that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That also came from the people who would tell in a heartbeat.
Yeah, right. Dude, we went to Rio. To this day, I can't name one person that if I called them out right now, they'd be here. You know, y'all were a bunch of pussies. Oh my mama. None of you guys all thought you were hard. Y'all weren't doing shit. Yeah. And as soon as shit got real,
hit the fan, it was
oh my god.
It was raps.
Yeah, I think that's what it took, is all these people saying this shit about me, my family being law enforcement. Yeah. And then seeing who the people were that were talking about it, I was like, bro, you're a punk. You're not on shit. You're not doing shit. Yeah. At first it was like, fuck, is this what it's gonna be like? But you move on. You get better.
I mean, some of the hardest people we've met, you've told that you have been involved in law enforcement your whole life, and they don't even judge you for it.
Dude, the issue that we have now is it's all about respect. Yeah. Right? My dad was in law enforcement for 20-something years. Right. My dad's my hero. Yeah. I can say, a lot of people will be like, oh, my hero is J. Cole or an artist or musician, whatever. Right. Nah, I lived with my hero. Mm-hmm. I can call my hero right now. Right. My dad has more respect for everyone. All these people saying, oh, cops are racist. Dude, I've been, I've gone out with my dad. Mm-hmm. I've seen how he talks to people. I've seen how people talk to him. No. Yeah. It's both sides. It's respect both ways. Right. My dad worked in the jails. Some of the hardest people that, ever were in that, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he was in some soft ass, unit. He did everything. He would go to every cell block. He talked to everyone. Right. And there were guys in there with double, triple homicides
who weren't getting out to see the bright of day.
Yeah, and it's all respect, and that's the issue, is all the people that are like, fuck cops, fuck this, fuck that. You have no self-respect, right? Right. Because as soon as shit hits the fan, who are you calling?
Police.
Yeah.
Most of them.
And then, oh, well, I called them because I needed help. Mm-hmm. But when you don't need help, it's fuck them? Mm-hmm. fuck that. If you got respect for yourself, for your community, it would be towards the guys that at any day,
Are there
anytime,
day and night.
they could be shot, killed for helping you,
Mm-hmm.
and they get nothing.
Yeah.
They lose their life for you. How many cops have been killed on the line of duty trying to help somebody else?
Right.
It right there. They're here to help, and just that was the make or break for me. It was just like all these people that talk shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be calling my dad.
Yeah.
I could care less what you think, brother. Like, I'll tell my dad what you're saying, and
Yeah.
when your house is being broken into, maybe we just might take our time getting over to that address. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, dude. Nah. I grew up with cops, not even just sheriffs. It was police.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who his dad is a CHP officer.
Yeah.
Every cop that I've met has been cool, and I don't tell them my dad's a cop.
Yeah.
None of that. It's just you give them respect, you'll get respect.
So, how did living with your hero shape you? Like, you said you live with your hero. You said your hero, you
It's
can
tough.
call your hero.
It's fucking tough.
Yeah.
My dad's always told me to be better than him,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like,
I want to be like you.
yeah. I'm drowning trying to even get to where he's at right now.
Yeah.
And it's
So let's ask the question, $1 million question. Everyone, whether they admit it or not, their parents are a big part of their life.
yeah.
At some point or another, they want to hear from their parents that they're proud.
Yeah.
They want to hear their parents say, "I'm proud of you, son. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, daughter," anything. Do you think your dad's proud of you?
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. And there's always room for growth,
Right.
I'm sure that there's shit that I've done that he's not proud of, but
Right.
I mean, it's life. It happens.
Right.
I'm sure there's shit he's done that I'm sure his parents weren't proud of.
Right.
But it's all about how you bounce back. So, me and my dad had a different type of relationship. My dad is like a manly man.
Mm-hmm.
I know growing up he told me he loved me, right? But like really,
Yeah.
like I remember hearing like sophomore, junior year of high school. That's
Okay.
when like I really started to feel and think about it.
Yeah.
That's when he started like to really tell me he loved me.
Okay.
And I don't think it was ever just like, oh, I don't love you.
Right.
But it's hard.
Became easier for him to say it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think junior year is like when I really like sat down with my dad and we really like got close.
So, I don't want to take away anything from your dad. Your dad's a great dude.
Yeah.
I haven't met him too many times, but the few amount of times that I've talked to him, even if it's just a brief hello, seems like a great dude.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your mom.
Mm.
Let's steer towards your mom for a little bit.
All right.
Give your mom about 5 minutes of fame, right?
Yeah.
Just talk about your mom for a little bit. What was it like living with her?
My mom is like, I think the saying's like apple in my eye.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a bullet for my mom right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much care that I got for her that like I can't even like explain truly.
Right.
I grew up probably a little wrong, right? I
Mm-hmm.
grew up thinking like my mom was like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So there were definitely times that caused some issues.
Okay.
Just because I thought she was like an equal.
Right.
I didn't think of her as like mom. I thought of her as like, hey,
Friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the same time that I started getting close with my dad, I don't want to say I took steps back from my mom, but then
Mhm.
I realized, hey, she's my mom. There's certain shit I can't tell my mom.
Right.
Hey, mom, like I just fuck this, No, I can't tell my mom certain shit.
Right.
We joke about it now. Like, she knows about my ex and she knows all the,
The nasties.
the stupid shit I did with her. But,
Yep.
you know, my mom was, you know, my dad never showed emotion.
Mm-hmm.
My mom showed like the emotion for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a good mix there.
That's good.
So my mom, and I know she's gonna hear this, and I'm sorry, Ma, but like when it comes to like shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
she like shuts down.
Yeah.
She's like, what do we do? So growing up, you know, it's like, hey, Mom, we gotta do this, we gotta do this.
Right.
She freaks out, right? Like when we had that school shooting threat at Rio, that it wasn't real. It was just a dude posting shit online.
Yeah.
That fucking pussy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna do it, do it.
Do it.
Don't fucking just talk shit and then not do it.
Right.
School shootings are bad, but still, don't be a pussy. If you're gonna do something, stick with it. Fuck that guy, dude.
Hot take. Hot
Yeah,
take on the mic.
Hot take. We'll talk about that in an episode because yeah, bro was a pussy. But for clout, you know, when that shit happened, my mom called me. She was the first person to call me, and she's like, "You need to get inside. You need to, you know, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know, you got to tell me wremember going on before I just walk inside someplace. Yeah. And she's like, "There's a school shooting at Jesuit." I'm like, fuck. I remember I was with Alex and Christian, and I grabbed them. I said, "Boys, we are leaving." And we went inside the counseling office, and because of me, we put the school on lockdown. Because I was like, "Hey, Miss Jensen,
school shooting,
wrap this shit up.
Time to go.
Lock it down." You know. And she's like, "Why? I said, "My mom just called me, and I'm sure my dad called her.
Yeah.
You know, we should probably get put on lockdown." And as soon as we said that, fucking a CHP and a sheriff guy pull in. Yeah. And I see him throw this, like an AR plate over his vest. I grew up with cops. I know that they wear a vest underneath their shirt. Yeah. So if they're putting a vest over top of that,
it's getting
somebody's got a big gun, and I don't want to be on the other end of that. Right. You know, I want to be behind that guy.
Right.
And so I was like, "See that guy right there? So he's preparing for something.
Yeah, he's about to get active. So let's go."
So, but no, going back to my mom. My mom is everything, you know. She's the reason why at 20 years old I'm going into the military now and not at 18 because I wanted to be home with her. Yeah. My ex, she, you know, did not allow me to be as close as my mom as I wanted to, and you know, I think that really helped me though.
Helped you value her more.
Yeah.
Your mom more.
Yeah, because like she wanted me to have like no relationship with my mom.
Right.
And I found myself fighting more for my mom than for the relationship. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how are you going to tell me the person that I just lived with for the last 20 years you don't want me talking to?
Yeah. Does
that make sense? So, because of my mom, I got out of that terrible relationship. Thank you, Ma.
Shout out moms.
Shout out moms. I love her, though.
Yeah.
There's not... I don't know.
So, we're going to wrap this up with... another 5 minutes, 6 minutes of you talking about what do you want people to hear? Not even just about you, just in general. What do you want people to hear when they listen to this? What do you want them to take? What do you want them to hear when they hear the Bo Bros podcast?
At least coming from my side, I felt like the darkest times in my life, I felt like I had nobody. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I had nobody to talk to, and I just held that shit in. Right. And now it's affecting me now. Right. You know, relationships and shit. It's a turnoff for everyone that, you know, you can't express shit. Mm-hmm. And so I'm dealing with that right now. You know, I'm getting in arguments because I can't express shit. Right. It's nothing that they did, right? It's nothing that my parents did. It's nothing, you know, it's just because of the shit that I went through. I didn't have an outlet. Right. So what I want is I want to be able to help people. So I want people to be able to listen to this and try to, you know, figure shit out, right? You're not alone, right? There's someone for everyone.
How's it going?
Kian just took a phone call mid podcast, so I'm gonna wrap it up without him. But you know, you're not alone. I want to be a cop to help people. I want to go into the military to help people.
Yeah, I was ready.
You know, one thing for me is like, a common question with my parents is like, hey, if we won the Mega Million, right? Would you not want to become a cop? Would you not want to go into the military because it's dangerous? And I tell them, no, I could be the richest man in the world and I'd still want to do that. I still want to help people. There's other ways to help people, but in my mind, that's the way that I know to help. That's how I want to help. So if just listening to this podcast, whatever I say or whatever Kean says, whatever our guests say, if that helps you, that's what I want out of this. I want you to be able to connect to someone, you know. I you're never alone, no matter how bad or whatever is going on. You are not alone, and don't think you are. You know, there's countless friends that I have lost because they felt as if they were alone, and they weren't, and they made a, you know, a lifelong decision that they can't take back over an issue about right now. Everything will get better. As bad as it sounds, everything happens for a reason. There's a reason it happens. You're going to be put through it, but when you come out, you're going to be so much stronger, so much braver, and, you know, it took me a while to figure that shit out, but luckily I did. A perfect example of that is Pat Tillman. He was in the NFL. He was a Cardinals player, I'm pretty sure, and you know, he was a millionaire. He had no reason to stop what he was doing. And after 9/11, he enlisted. You know, he dropped everything just to help people. And one mission he was on, there was green on green fire, so friendly fire. And he got killed trying to help people. So, you know, someone like that, he's like a big inspiration. You know, there's no reason this guy had to stop what he was doing, but he just wanted to help. And so that's how I am. I just want to help. You know, my DMs are always open. We'll put our socials and stuff in the description of this. But you know, if anybody ever has any questions, you always shoot me a DM. I'm always available for it. So if I can help you, then I'll be fine with it. So Kean's back.
Brandy Bo.
Yep.
Thank you for talking on the Bo Boys podcast. This was episode not 1, not 2, not 3. This was a meeting Brandy Bo.
Yeah.
This will be on the top of the YouTube channel, just to get to know who Brandy Bo is as a person.
Yep.
In case you guys have not just questions, but you want answers about how we view certain things. I know we probably didn't touch every topic that we wanted to, but we wanted to make this short and sweet, just so you guys can get a better understanding of who we are. As of right now, we're going to sign it off. Brandy Bo, thank you for talking.
Yeah, thank you.
You'll see Brandy Bo's up there. You'll see mine up there as well. Just stay tuned.
Yep. All right. Peace.
Peace out.